Right. Now, is it fair to say, when you're on the street, that police often represent trouble as opposed to help, as opposed to security? Is it fair to say that, or is that too harsh? I don't know.
I think that's fair.
You think that's
Yeah,
fair?
fair statement, yeah.
The police consider often, I mean, I've seen this myself as well, the police consider that they're there to protect the owner of the facility, or, you know, or the place where they're at, the supermarket or whatever. They're there in the name of the owners, right? So it's not like police does not equal compassion in these circumstances, right?
Well, the truth is, this will lead up to something else I wanted to say. It's the question of being cooperative, you know, like, it's if you're suffering from homelessness and other issues, like, it's hard to understand how to function with the police there, like how to cooperate with them in such a manner where they won't handcuff you, or accusations are flying back and forth, you know. Like basically, I've been in conferences with the mentally ill where they were saying things like, when the landlord...
Who's they now?
These are people that suffered mental illness.
Right.
And they were in conferences with me in Quebec, and they were saying when the police are called in, for example, between two neighbors that are having an argument, as soon as they identify one of the tenants being mentally ill, the handcuffs come out. The argument's over. In other words, the tenant with the mental illness is in the wrong. Whatever his reasoning is totally like unacceptable, and the other person is right. So this is something they said that they don't feel is always fair. I mean, there could be something going on that the person who's mentally ill is not necessarily at fault.
Well, I mean, there is a general sense out there that the police often exercise a class bias. If you're mentally ill, you're not considered, you're in the wrong, as you say. If you're of a lower class, if you're homeless, relative to someone who's waiting for the bus and who's on the way to work, well, you're in the wrong again, etc., etc. There is a real class bias in how they perceive guilt, right? Now, is it fair to say that? Maybe we can do another roundtable. I can see Darrin wants to get in with that one. Darrin, do you want to touch that?
You know, there have been times I feel that I've been deserved, you know, the handcuffs have come out, but, you know, a lot of the time they're trying to, I guess, doing it for the safety of the person who maybe is suffering at the moment, but it depends on how they come at you. If they come at you forcefully, then it's a different situation as opposed to if they come out to you in a peaceful manner. And I've had police officers come at me in both ways. I've been taken down by police officers, and, you know, it depends on how.
So they could
react,
you know? Say, listen, for your own safety, I'm going to cuff you, and be really nice about it. And you're willing to accept that?
Yeah.
Under certain circumstances, you recognize that they're right.
Of course,
and,
Like, you know, like there are times when, you know, I totally agreed with them and they've been nice to me, and then there've been times when, you know, I haven't, and they have been forceful with me.
Right.
So, you know, like it.
So
and
in other
I
words,
feel that goes with anything, though. Like,
yeah, but you recognize yourself that sometimes your own behavior is over the edge, and it's actually helpful to have someone restrain you? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no one likes to be restrained.
Yeah.
You know, I've been restrained to hospital beds, to gurneys, you know, like it's not nice. It's certainly not nice. But if, you know, I'm at the point where I'm going to harm myself, and they feel that the best thing for me right now is to be put in handcuffs and in the back of a cruiser, well, hey, you know, wouldn't we rather that than me taking off and doing something stupid? If a police officer is being called out to someone who said that they're suicidal, obviously the police officer wants to go home at night, right? So who's he going to protect? Himself and the person that maybe is suicidal, right?
Right.
And, you know, at the end of it, I want to see that police officer go home at the end. Like, I'm not, like, the episodes that I've had, I'm not in it to hurt other people.
Right.
Like, you know, it's not about them at all.
Right.
You know, they're just trying to do their job. Some days they're fantastic at it, and then there's other days, you know, where, you know, they could maybe relax a little bit and listen to us.
So this project is about reducing harm, in a sense, training people more, social workers, police officers, so that they respond better to these situations. Is that right, Chris?
We do want to cooperate with the people in the shelters. We do want to talk to them about issues that are important to us, but you have to remember, if you're a mentally ill person, there's an element of danger in your life as to harming yourself. And this is not an issue that's being discussed anywhere on the streets with the police, with the court system, right? It's like you're trying to protect yourself from this thing that's wrong with you. You know, that it sends you into a spiral of pain and suffering, and hardly anybody is there to help you until you end up in a psychiatric hospital. But we're saying that at the street level, there are programs, there are services that they can create. Like Bug's an artist, Steven's a photographer, I do some poetry, Darrin is a guitar player, and we're trying to advocate for the creation of more creative activities for people on the streets, especially those